What is going on, everyone? Ivan from Paired Recruiting here. Now let's be real. Creating clear and accessible standard operating procedures, or SOPs for short, can be a huge boost towards your guys' business. It can help a lot with scaling, minimizing confusion, and just overall boost teams' productivity. To be honest, SOPs may sound boring. However, it's one of the most underrated tools when it comes to scaling your guys' business. They reduce decision fatigue, help with delegation, and make sure that you guys don't need to explain things over and over again. While there are many tools out there to document your processes, Notion still remains one of the top contenders when it comes to creating and modifying your guys' SOPs. And the reasons for that fall under its structure, flexibility, and different collaborative features. So in this guide, I'm going to walk you guys through exactly why Notion is going to be the best option for SOPs, what makes a great SOP in the first place, and how to do it inside of Notion. And if you guys want more of a hands-on approach when it comes to business processes and hiring, that's exactly what we do here at Paired. We specialize in helping businesses like yours get the right talent and processes in place. So if that sounds interesting to you, check out the link down in the description. Other than that, let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, first things first, why should we even use Notion for creating SOPs? Now, keep in mind, Notion is definitely not only a note-taking app. You can mold it however you'd like, and essentially, it becomes a centralized source of truth. And once you get the hang of it, you can customize it however you guys would like. Now, here are some of the reasons why it works amazing for SOPs. And the number one factor is you can make things look clean and easy to follow. If you guys are inside the platform, the UI is amazing. You can customize pretty much everything. And when somebody's reading the SOP, they don't have to guess what step comes next. And that honestly ties in with the second reason, because everything is going to be interconnected. Inside of Notion, everything can live under one umbrella. And that way, if you have 10 SOPs, you can go ahead and organize them by team, task, or priority. And that way, nothing slips through the cracks. And guess what? That's going to make teamwork feel a lot more natural. So instead of you guys needing to send a Slack or a text message or even an email, you can go ahead and leave a comment inside your guys' Notion. And that way, everybody's going to know what's going on. And I was hinting at this before, but as you guys scale, we need to figure out how to save as much time as possible. And inside of Notion, there are going to be some amazing templates we can go ahead and create once, and boom, we can reuse them over and over again. That way, we don't need to reinvent the wheel every single time. And don't worry, as you guys scale, you can easily set viewing permissions, so that way, not everything is going to be available to the public. And don't worry, as your team is looking at it, it's not going to be just text. You can embed videos, screenshots, or checklists, and that way, it's going to be a lot more interactive. Because imagine working 40 years ago. You would get a big folder where you have to go page by page, and that would take hours. Now this way, as somebody's going through an SOP, if they're not sure about something, it's not going to be just plain text. There can be videos, screenshots, and it's going to be a lot more interactive and modern. And the best part is that it grows with you. Whether you're building your very first doc or managing dozens across different departments, Notion keeps up with it. Now you may be asking yourself, Ivan, I get it. Notion makes amazing SOPs. However, what does a great SOP actually look like? And I just wanted to address something right away. SOPs is not simply about just writing things down. The main objective here is that somebody can actually do the task without you needing to be there, and simply by writing it down may not be the best option every single time. So let's go ahead and cover what a great SOP is going to look like and how Notion is going to help us pull it off. Now, first things first, we need a title and a summary. We want to know exactly what that document is going to be for. And under that, there should be a little description covering its contents. Because look, if I was an employee at your guys' company, if I'm looking at a certain question, I want to make sure I know exactly what I'm getting. But if it's something vague or I'm not really sure, that's not really good news. So in Notion, make sure that you guys simply have a big title and a little line under, nothing fancy. Now, the second thing that you should be asking yourself, why does this SOP actually exist? So we need to give a little context here. Why should this SOP even matter? When should someone use it? This is where I would attach a little paragraph or a couple bullet points under to really explain that why, and that way everybody's on the team is going to know why it's important. Now, before we actually start typing up our SOP, we need to think about, what is our team going to need? Are there going to be any tools, passwords, logins, or links? We need to figure out if they're going to be any links, passwords, tools as part of their workflow, because we don't want somebody to read the entire SOP and they're not going to have the password. So hypothetically, if somebody needs a link, you can directly attach a Notion, and that way nobody has to go hunting for them. And up next, we got the meat and bones of the SOP, which are going to be the steps involved. And here, I'll keep it simple. Just walk them through exactly how you would in person. Think of it like writing a recipe. Clear ingredients, exact measurements, and no skip steps. Even better is if you guys can embed a Loom video, and that way you guys can show and not just tell. So break it down in very simple steps, and if there's a place where people mess up more than not, go ahead and really highlight on that specific step. This is where Notion really shines, because everything can be super organized. You can number everything, have bullet points, and it looks very clean. Now up next, we really need to highlight on who's in charge and when was the last time this SOP was updated. So every SOP should have like an owner of some sort, and that way they're going to be in charge for actually updating the SOP. Because look, stuff changes fast. And if you guys don't update your SOP, you could be in trouble. So you can easily tag a person, add a date, and that way you can make sure that it's going to be updated. And if this specific SOP doesn't answer the entire question, you can go ahead and attach other related docs inside the main doc, and that way everything lives under one umbrella. Great, so we've created our very first SOP. Now where do we go from here? We need to make sure that as we're creating more documents and SOPs, everything stays organized. Now here are going to be some of the strategies to really stay on top of it. The first thing that we need to do is make a main dashboard. This should be a main page with a database that lists all of you guys' SOPs. And from here, we can filter by topic, sort by team, or even see the different tags associated with them. And that's going to be really important. We want to make sure that each one of our teams, like for example, marketing, sales, operations, have their own SOPs that are going to be relevant to them. And that way, on that dashboard, we want to make sure that everything is going to be relevant to that specific team. And don't worry, you can modify user permissions, so that way each specific team member is going to have access to what's relevant to them. And as you guys build, I would highly suggest to develop a formalized structure behind you guys' SOPs. So go ahead and create a template, and then from there, when it comes to every single new SOP, you have something to build off of. That way, everything stays uniform and organized without you guys needing to remake it every single time. And just make sure to review your SOPs regularly to make sure that everything is going to be up to date. So as I mentioned before, you can literally assign a specific user for every single SOP, have a date associated with it, and that way, on that specific date, we want to make sure that nothing has changed from the previous time we looked at it. So final verdict, should we use Notion for SOPs? Now the answer is going to be simple. Yes, Notion is one of the best tools for documenting and organizing your internal processes. It's clean, customizable, and powerful, but at the same time, not overwhelming. So whether you guys are a solo founder or you're managing a big team, Notion is kind of a one-size-fits-all, so you can grow with it. And because all the documents, links, databases live under one umbrella inside of Notion, it makes it much easier for you guys' team to not jump across 5 different apps. And there you guys have it. That was a simple and effective way of building and managing you guys' SOPs inside of Notion. Clear processes, help your team move faster, reduce mistakes, and stay aligned as you guys grow. But remember, strong systems only work when you got the right people to run them. And that's exactly where Paired comes in. Essentially, we help companies find pre-vetted global talent that can own and manage those processes. From virtual assistants to operations specialists, we help you find the team that can actually help you guys scale, and we back it up with a risk-free guarantee. So if you're ready to put the right systems and people in place, check out the link down below in the description. And if this video was helpful, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave any questions in the comments. See you in the next one.